Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Budehas, your online math teacher. In today's video, you will learn Pythagorean Theorem and the distance formula. Let's start. First, we have the Pythagorean Theorem. This theorem states that in any given right triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides. To illustrate, in a right triangle ABC, if the measures of the legs are A and B, and the measure of the hypotenuse is C, it follows that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So based on the picture here, if you are going to take the square of A and the square of B, then add them, the result is equal to the square of C. So this is the right triangle here, and this side measures 4 units, and the square of 4 is 16. And this side here measures 3 units. The square of 3 is 9. And for the hypotenuse, this measures 5 units, and the square of 5 units is 25. If you're going to add 16 and 9, the result is 25. For example, find the hypotenuse of a right triangle whose legs measures 3 meters and 4 meters. So to solve this, we'll let A be equal to 3 and B is equal to 4. Then, substitute the given to the formula, which is we have A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Okay, here we go. So our A is 3 and B is 4. Then simplify 3 squared, that is 3 times 3, we have 9. And 4 squared, 4 times 4, which is 16. Then just copy C squared since we don't have yet the value for C. And 9 plus 16 is 25. Again, just copy C squared. And take note, we are looking for C, not the C squared. So we have to take both sides, the square root. So the square root of C squared is C, and the square root of 25 is 5. Therefore, the hypotenuse of the given right triangle is 5 meters. So here, this side here, the hypotenuse, that is 5 meters. Next is the distance formula. It is used to find the distance between two distinct points on the Cartesian plane. Given 2 points, x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2, the distance between the 2 points can be measured as d is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. This is the formula in finding the distance of 2 points. For example, to find the distance between points 2, 3 and negative 3, negative 1, we are going to follow these steps. First, we'll let x sub 1 be equal to 2, since that is our first x, and second x, or x sub 2, is negative 3. Then, the y component for the first point is 3, and the y component for the second point is negative 1. Then after that, we are going to substitute the given to the distance formula, which is this one. Okay, so we have now negative 3 minus 2 squared plus negative 1 minus 3 squared. Now let's simplify this one. Negative 3 minus 2, that's negative 5. And negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Simplify again the exponent rather. Negative 5 squared, that is negative 5 times negative 5, we have positive 25. And for negative 4 squared, that is negative 4 times negative 4. So we have positive 16. Now let's add 25 plus 16, that is positive 41. And now the value for, or the distance of the 2 points is equal to the square root of 41. So that is the distance between the points 2, 3 and negative 3, negative 1. Square root of 41 units. That is in between 6 and 7. So that's a 6 point something. Okay, now let's try some examples about Pythagorean theorem and distance formula. Number 1, find the length of the hypotenuse of the right triangle in the given figure below. Here. So the value for A, or the measurement for A, is 6 and for B is 10. And we are to find the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So since we are to find the hypotenuse and the given triangle is right triangle, we are going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Our a is 6 and b is 10. So we now have 6 squared plus 10 squared is equal to c squared. 6 squared, that is 36. 10 squared is 100 is equal to c squared. Now, let's add them. 36 plus 100, we have 136, and that's our c squared. But take note, we are looking for c, not the c squared. So we have to take the square root of both sides now. So we have here, square root of 136 is equal to the square root of c squared. Square root of c squared is just c. And for the square root of 136, since 136 is not a perfect number, and 136 is not a prime number also, so it's a composite number. And if it's composite, of course, we can factor that numbers. So the factors that we are going to choose for 136 is 4 and 34. 4 times 34, that's equal to 136. Now, we have chosen, or I have chosen 4 and 34 as a factor for 136 because one of the factors is a perfect number, which is 4. And that's the purpose. We need to have one perfect number. So 4 here is a perfect number. Of course, we can get the square root of that, which is 2. So square root of 4 is 2. So we'll take out 2 because that's already a whole number. Then, since 34 is not a perfect number, and that's square root of 34 is irrational number, so just uh, remain this 34 as radicand. So we now have the value for c is equal to 2 square root of 34. Therefore, the length of the hypotenuse is 2 square root of 34 units. Example number 2. Miguel's house is mapped on the coordinate grid with the city hall as the origin. His home is located at point 2, 4, and his best friend's home is at point negative 4, 12. If the scale used in the grid is 1 unit is to 1 kilometer, how far are their homes from each other? Okay, from the given, we have x sub 1 is equal to 2, and x sub 2 is negative 4, y sub 1 is positive 4 and y sub 2 is positive 12. Now, let's substitute these necessary values to the distance formula. So here's the distance formula. Then we have already the value for x sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 1, and y sub 2, and we have now this. So after we substitute, we are now going to simplify this. Negative 4 minus 2, that is negative 6. 12 minus 4 is positive 8. Then simplify the exponent. Negative 6 squared, that's negative 6 times negative 6, which is 36. And 8 squared, we have 8 times 8 is 64. Now adding the radicands, 64 plus 36 is 100. And the square root of 100 is 10. Therefore, the distance between Miguel's home and his best friend's home is 10 kilometers away. Okay, I'm done with my discussion for today. And now it's your turn to answer this individual practice. I have two problems here, and I want you to answer these two problems in the individual practice, and please do comment your answers below so that I can check if your answers are correct. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.